Viking ding dong, ding dong, boy, if you want your fed done, call me out, your party done, call me out.
Welcome to it. This is Tonight on M&Etv. It's your boy Jaiga. As promised, I told you all I have somebody infamous. Some of you call him infamous. A man who, in my generation, has been on the ground, touching on every aspect of everything. Right now, he's in between jobs, if you're being real. You understand what I'm saying? Who I'm talking about? Some call him Gigi. Some call him the Twitter bantam, the Facebook guru, all kind of things. Want to welcome Mr. Griffith. Welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
This is a segment, we in no time, there's no big expose, I'm going straight for the juggler. All kind of things people they say about you on the road. We know that, it is no secret. Some call it, and it's the first person I've seen equal, half and half. If you're talking nation, region, because your name has been all of the islands, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago, right? You've been half and half, a solid half and half for a while. Sometimes you peek over in the favorite side, and then you peek a little under in the unpopular side.
A little?
Depending on the day.
Yeah,
you understand? One of the main things is your operations and how you deal with people. I want you to come to explain to us here now what is the mindset behind you dealing with how you dealt with certain things while in the position as Commissioner of Police.
Sure. I mean, I swore an oath to my God, my country, and the citizens of this country. So I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see ethnic composition, geographical location, religion, political affiliation. On many occasions, that is what I had to endure when I was Minister of National Security, Commissioner of Police, National Security Advisor, where people will try to influence you to make decisions to benefit them politically or based on race or whatever. I don't. And because of that, I have stepped on toes, and we could look at the simple example. Remember the Sea Lot situation where there were a lot of young boys, they were breaking the law, breaching the regulations, about 25 of them, and persons automatically had a concern and said, hey, look, why does you have all these what they say, these black boys on the ground? But if it is you have 25 persons and they have 5 police officers, you don't know if suppose one may have a firearm. The first thing that you do in a drill is to put them to be on the ground because you don't know if they will have a weapon. So regardless of what color they are, it didn't bother me. But I have been involved in operations in West Moorings, in Bayshore, all over. So I don't look at race or religion. Thankfully, my wife is Afro-Trinidadian, so nobody could ever say that Gary Griffith has anything other to do but doing what is right for the country. I will step on toes. It will affect persons, but I will do what is required.
Right. I'm not a lawyer. Right? It's been in the news over the past 48 hours heavily that the Prime Minister had a lot of influence in the decision not making you the top cop again. What are your personal views on it?
Well, it is the right of the Prime Minister. I would accept whatever the Prime Minister has to say. What is an issue is how it is he dealt with it. If you are the Prime Minister and you do not want that person, you do it through Parliament. You do not take a piece of paper, run up to President's House, give it to a PSC chairman, and try to use that to influence her to rescind a merit list because I was on top of it. And therein lies the problem. What this country has is what is known as democratic dictatorship, where we have a system that a Prime Minister is God. He a virtual God when it comes to a country. He selects the President, who will then be a puppet to him, the Commissioner of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, President of the Senate, Speaker of the House, all state board members. We need to ensure that there's a government that could reduce the powers of a government to stop this type of dictatorship that is going on. So Keith Rowley has made his decision. And again, I think that by right, a Prime Minister must have a very big part to play in the selection of a Commissioner of Police because, when crime goes up or whatever, it is the Prime Minister they blame. Right. So in the situation when Keith Rowley took the chance and appointed me as Commissioner of Police, he took a chance, but he got full credit for it, and I think it played a big part towards PNM winning the election in 2020 because they put me on the manifesto as their poster boy. Look, we bought Gary Griffith, and it's because of Gary Griffith us appointed him. Crime went down drastically. It was the highest reduction in crime in the history of this country. So Keith Rowley got the credit for it. By Keith Rowley removing me since my departure, it is the bloodiest we have seen, and blood has been spilling all over the streets. Crime has spiked to the highest we have seen ever. So Keith Rowley must also accept the responsibility for removing me.
All right, so we talk off camera just now about office and respect in office. What you say to people who, because this right now is a new era, seeing a commissioner of police engage as much as you engage with what we say like social media. Like for instance, Facebook is something that you're known for. Yeah. Like, it's not a secret. And at every level, you don't only go at a story or a journalist. You got individuals, the random person.
And you know, and that is, if and when I will get back into politics, that is where you should be. When it is you feel that you're up in your tower and you do not have time to speak to anyone because of your position as a minister, prime minister, or commissioner of police. I'm not like that. I would interact with everyone, and that is the way I've always been. There is a reason why 93% of the police second division officers enjoyed my style, my personality, my leadership, because I'll be on the ground with my troops. I will never have them do anything I would not do myself. So because I will interact, and similar with Facebook. I'm not speaking about Donald Trump kind of interaction like Twitter, but I'm speaking about in social media. If it is that I can interact with persons, explain to them certain things, and sometimes it might be good banter. But if you are so thin-skinned that you can't take it, you know, there's a saying, do so and like so. You can't criticize me and say the nastiest things about me, and then when I bring data, facts, figures to prove something otherwise, you get offended. So that there's nothing wrong with a commissioner communicating. I wish all persons in public office should find the time, and nobody could question me saying I'm wasting my time, because I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week as commissioner of police, which is why you saw the transformation of the police service. So it still allowed me time, 2 o'clock in the morning, to send messages to persons on Facebook, speak to them, interact with them, make a joke with them, probably criticize them. But that is my right, because I need to interact with the public and let them know that I am one of them.
How do you deal with Gary is wrong? In a case where Gary is wrong, and because, you know, it's also been said, because we're talking now, the thing, because this is not me. Just want that to be clear. This is not me. I have no personal affiliations to Mr. Griffith, none at all. And that is fact. True or not true?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's been said that, you know, the names are being called narcissist, arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Has there ever been a case where, because you know how we have a saying where people always talk about the bad they do and never the good. Has there been a case that me, the viewers, might remember where you have been wrong? You have admitted you're wrong, and you have came to the, you know, you give yourself to the people to say, hey, listen, this one was a bad move. You could kind of take me back to a space where that had happened.
I can give you the perfect example. It goes right back to the Sealots Bayside situation that we spoke about initially. When they had the situation in Bayside, we had 25 persons, in Sealots, they were breaking the law, they were breaching the public health regulations. The Prime Minister, because he was totally lost in understanding the law, he said, when there was the Bayside situation and there are the 3 or 4 young ladies swimming around a pool, he said the commissioner must be able to make sure that that the law works for all. Because of him being clueless and not understanding that I could not arrest anyone on private property. If I did not do that, it meant that the police would have believed that what the Prime Minister said was correct. And then when you had your Father's Day lime or Mother's Day lime or something in your home and you had 10 people, you would have been arrested. I had no intention to breach the constitutional rights of citizens. So I stood firm on the Prime Minister, because you were wrong and you can cause police officers to arrest persons. If you could recall 2011, that is what the UNC government did with the police, because they told the police what to do, and the police in a very foolish manner arrested over 500 Afro-Trinidadian boys the wrong way, and then we paid the price through our pockets, through the taxpayers. I had no intention to make the same mistake. So the same I stood firm to Kamala Prasad-Bissessar when there was the plan for me to try to do the wrong thing, and I told her where she could go with her position, and I was fired. I would have done the same thing as Commissioner of Police. Now, having said that, he took offense because, you know, there's a saying, do so and like so. He's a person who loves to criticize, attack, but when it is people try to explain to him, he takes offense to it. And I apologized. If you recall, I apologized. And I was the bigger man. No, I didn't have to, because I was the commissioner of police and you were wrong in what you did. And you could have caused my police officers to arrest people the wrong way. But I still apologized. And he ignored that and tried to use that as an excuse to remove a sitting commissioner of police. So it showed the difference in the maturity of Keith Rowley to myself. But it shows the fact that there are times I can be wrong. And if it is that I am wrong, I will say that I am wrong. But it does not mean that if it is you accuse me of something, it does not give me the right to have a debate with you to give you my side of the story. Why must people in social media say, Gary Griffith, you do this, and then I can't give my view to show that, okay, I've heard you, but this is my point. And then when I say it, you see, he can't take criticism. That is not true. There's a difference with taking criticism or me trying to explain my side. Right. And at times I would be wrong because I'm not perfect and I would make mistakes. But at least I have the maturity to accept that and to learn from my mistakes, which makes me a better person.
And I will ask this though. Something I try to ask everybody on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being great. How was your position as the Commissioner of Police affected your personal life?
But I ended up in the hospital twice. It broke me down mentally, physically, because I was doing more as a commissioner of police than probably all the commissioners of police put together, and even this one, where you'd have seen me every single place. People thought that there were about 5 Gary Griffiths. You will see me in an operation in South. You'll see me in Tobago. I'll be doing 2 press conferences. I'll be involved in a meeting with dignitaries, with officials, organizing policies. I worked to the point that it destroyed my health, and I continued doing what I had to do because I knew the country needed me. We were fighting a war that we were losing before I arrived. And then I had to do so much to transform the police service, get the public to buy into what we were doing, transform the mindset of the police service and using technology. Everything that I did, what is unfortunate to me that is affecting me is that on my departure, every single thing that I put in place to peg back criminals, it has been dismantled by the hierarchy of the police service and Minister Fitzgerald Hines. And because of that, the country is now paying the price. When I left as Minister of National Security, as a Commissioner of Police, we were going at about 320 to 330 murders per annum. That was up until August last year. In the 6 months since I left, we are now going at 600 murders plus per annum. There's been a total turnaround. And Keith Rowley is responsible for this he decided, let me remove Gary Griffith because I don't think that I like him. Anytime you as a leader make decisions based on your personal view and not looking at the view of others, because 89% of the country in the independent poll by CCN, with a 3% margin of error, said they wanted me to return as Commissioner of Police or didn't care or didn't mind if I did. Mm-hmm. He ignored that. He said, I don't care what the 89% of you will say. That is a Prime Minister. He didn't care that there was a 14% support of the police by the public when I arrived. When I left, it was 55%. He didn't care about that. He didn't care that every single crime was reduced by over 35%, 140 less murders in my last full year compared to the year before, and it was still going down to another 30 or 40 odd. He ignored all of that. So sometimes it would affect you that you have put out so much, and then when you depart, everything that you put out has now been lost. You recall right here on Traglit Road or Peter Avenue, people started complaining with Gary Griffith. They're seeing too many blue lights, too many sirens, too many police vehicles, too many roadblocks. I pumped it to such an extent, we started locking down the country. Now you can't find a police vehicle. You're not seeing a blue light. You're not seeing a roadblock. And the criminals are now coming out in their numbers. So those things would bother you because you put so much of your life for 3 years to help this country. And because of persons' inability to understand change, you've seen everything that may collapse now.
Done. Calm down. Your party done.